Hi, I'm Susan Enderson. Welcome to Janome Live. Today we're going to be working with ultraglide foot and some tips on working with vinyl and cork. Some tools I have on hand when working with vinyls and cork. I use the heavy brayer for flattening my seams. You can't put an iron to vinyl, so this works well. The quilter's clips hold things for you in place because you can't use pins, anti-glue needles, and my painter's tape. What I've got here today is my setup. Now this is just plain cork. Now this is backed. It is available from a lot of different sources, but I happen to pick out just a plain panel, and it's roughly 9 by 10. And I have two of them. Now on one panel, I've gone ahead and marked out, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see, zoom this in. Yeah, there you go. I have marked out about 2 inches down from one edge. About 2 inches down from one edge, I've drawn a single line. Then I've given myself just over 3 inches and drawn a second line. Then every inch I've done a vertical. After I've done that, I've gone back and I've split the cork from the outside line to the inside line. Then I've cut myself 3 strips that are about 12 by just under 1 inch. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to weave it through my cork that I already split. To give myself just a texture effect. There we go. Put that one all the way to the bottom here. Put that one all the way to the bottom. Then I'm going to take my next strip and reverse the weave. Snug that right up to the first one, and then take my last strip and do the same weave that we had on the first piece. So we're just doing a basket weave. So I've made a basket weave pattern using one under and one over and then one under again, all the way across. On my second panel, I've gone ahead and cut out some leaf shapes. Then I glued with just a fabric glue stick. I've just glued a piece of black cork to the back of it, covering them, and then I've trimmed off the inside piece a little bit more to show some of the black on the outside edge, and then take my glue stick again and just stick that little piece right down there. This is a temporary hold. We're going to go back and stitch it, but I wanted to show you how that actually worked. So there I have my 2 panel pieces, and they're 10 this way. So I have my 2 panel pieces that are 10 by 9. Let's take it to the machine. So at my machine, I'm going to set my sewing application mode. I'm going to select the presser foot with the plus to it at the very top of the screen, up here, and then I'm going to scroll over 1 to find the ultraglide foot option, and I'm going to select light. I already have my ultraglide foot attached. My needle is threaded with just a standard black thread. And all I'm going to work now is I'm just going to go around the outline edge of each of the leaves, as well as down the center to give myself a little stem. So I'm going to use the edge of my opening here as a guide. And remember, when you're sewing with cork, you cannot, when sewing with cork, you want to remember that you cannot rip out stitches. So you want to be very careful with where you're stitching. Now that I've gone completely around the outside of all my petals, I'm going to just do a straight line, and I'll probably go back over it again just to give it a little bit more definition. But this is going to attach the little pieces in the center here and give that leaf some final definition. Don't go all the way to the end on this. You just want to tack it down like the Now I'm going to be starting in towards the center a little bit, leaving that tip completely free. It won't roll up, so don't worry about that. I'm just going to go down this one little leaf here at the very top, and I'm going to turn it around and come back. This is just going to give me that little vine or vein down the center. Just like that, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my leaves. That little roller wheel on the side of my machine makes it very easy to drop my needle exactly where I want to start. And turn back this way. Now if you wanted to add some other decoration, like giving it some more veins out to the side of the leaves, you could do that too. Now I've also gone and cut myself 2 pieces of cotton or lining fabric, and this is just nothing more than 9 by 10 again, and I'm going to be using a black zipper. Okay, let's go ahead and put in the zipper. So from my extra accessory tab, I'm going to go to my sewing technique tab, and I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, and find my pouch zipper. I've switched my foot over to the ED foot for the narrow ankle of my AccuFeed Flex. I'm going to take my zipper, putting it right side down and even with the edge of the top of my cork. And then my lining, I want to place on top of that, right side down, matching all the edges. I'm going to make sure I have my pivot feature on, as well as my AccuFeed feature. Now, here's another tip for you. Don't use pins on your cork. These little clips that we use for bindings and quilting are perfect for holding everything in place until you can get to it. And we're just now going to go ahead and attach this zipper. Right like so. Just making sure all my edges are even. Okay, so there's side one. With my zipper and my cork. Isn't that pretty the way that's going to turn out? I'm going to like that a lot. Okay, now I'm not going to stitch up the sides yet, but I am going to attach the other side of the cork. To the other side of the zipper. And to do that, I'm just going to flip it over my cork and the top to the zipper tape. And I'm going to hold this with the clip briefly, just to make sure I've got everything aligned properly. Just like so. And then put the other half of my lining on top of the lining that is already there, right sides together, matching all my edges. That. And now we're going to stitch the second side of the zipper. just like that. Now to finish this off, so I've got my lining together and I've got my cork together. Now let's finish the bag. To finish my bag, I'm going to match my lining and my cork pieces together, making sure all the edges are even. One more tip, make sure you pull that zipper pull into the bag. Otherwise, you're going to end up without being able to open or close your zipper. So we've got that all done. Go back to my little clips to hold everything together. And I'm going to start on the cork side, and I'm going to go back to center needle position, and I'm going to go back to home. I'm going to go to my ordinary sewing mode with just a straight stitch, and I'm going to go around. Let's see, start, yeah, do this way. So with my pieces all together, I'm going to start about 2 inches from the corner of my lining, and we're going to go all the way around and leave the bottom of the lining opening for turning. So drop my presser foot, use the edge of my presser foot as a guide, there we go. Now when you get up to your zipper, remember this is all going to be folded back. Make sure you have your zipper pull into the project and not on the outside edge, and that your zipper is folded back. And I may need to have a little bit, there we go. You're folded back. Then finish off your lining and stop after about 2 inches. We're going to cut or trim our corners here on both the lining and the cork. Just makes it easier to turn. And if you haven't already done it, go ahead and trim off the extra of the basket weave pieces on both sides as well. Ahead and pressed under the opening to my lining. I'm going to match the folds and I'm just going to stitch it closed. Now I'm going to tuck the lining down inside the bag. And I'm going to come back up here at the top and I'm going to do a straight stitch all the way around the very top to keep the lining inside. After you've got your top stitching done, your bag is all finished. And there's my zipper. And I'm ready to go out for the evening. Something else to remember when you're working with vinyl is it does have a coating on one side. This would be considered the right side. It also makes it easier if you put that side against your stitch plate and stitch using your ultraglide foot on the side that doesn't have the plastic to it. Makes it a little easier for stitching. Janome's ultraglide foot works great with leather too, not just vinyl. And with Janome's 91 needle positions, I can get my needle aligned perfectly for beautiful top stitching. Stitching vinyl to vinyl can be a challenge for anyone, but with Janome's ultraglide foot and the anti-glue needle, I'm having no difficulty. So whether you're making covers for your appliances, or bags, totes, accessories for yourself or your children or family, the ultraglide foot is a must-have. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Susan Enderson. I'll see you next time on Janome Live.